I don't know what to do with you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cubist. My name is Bill Corey. I am the Cubist, and it is episode 100-ish.
Are we live?
We are live. You can tell because Kimberly's giggling, and I did my lame intro. Anyway, hi, everybody. How's it going? It's episode 100. You know, we made a joke for a long time about how somebody has to giggle nonsensically at the beginning of the show. We never explain why that joke is. Should we explain it today, or should we wait?
Why is that joke? I don't know why that joke is.
You are that joke because you always, right before we start the show, do something ridiculous or notice something ridiculous, and then laughter and goofiness happens all the time. So I'm just saying, that's how this always ends up. So hello, chat room. How's it going? Thank you very much.
Good gang in the chat room.
I know. We got people. I like it. That's a good thing. It is indeed episode 100-ish. We're saying 100-ish, by the way, because we pushed back our celebration show because we couldn't get enough people. Tonight we should have most of us. I don't know if we're going to have quite everybody, but it'll be real close. So we're still waiting. A couple of people are still rolling in. But anyway, chat room, welcome. Patrick just put a link in the chat that you're going to want to click on. So that way, we promise this one's safe. It's not, we're not sending you to anything weird. We're launching Cubist Bingo tonight. So if you are able to check off all the boxes on your personalized bingo card, you might get to win a thing.
Is it a date with Patrick?
It could be.
Patrick, do you want to go on a date with random people?
Sure.
I mean, Rob is in the chat, so there's yeah. I mean, there's a couple.
Rob, he's pretty handsome.
Yeah, I was gonna say we got a lot of pretty people in the chat right now.
That's right.
That's right. So anyway,
I don't know if that's really Rob. It's like a.
It might. That's true.
It
doesn't really have.
Icon.
Yeah, he's got the generic. I haven't bothered to pay.
At least it's not an egg.
It's not an egg. It's the YouTube version of an egg.
Okay.
I'm just. Are these all different? These aren't all different,
for
are they?
me, that's the real Rob.
Is it what all different?
Are our bingo cards all different?
You have to hit the new card button at the top, and then you'll get your own personal bingo card.
I'll get my own personal bingo card. They all say the same things, but they're in a different situation.
No, they're different words. There's like 50 words, and it'll load from the words.
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
So, for example, mine says reference to Naked Patrick in the bottom right-hand corner. You may not say that.
Yeah. And Rob will cook for us. He is a lovely cook.
Okay, so let's establish a couple ground rules on Cubist Bingo. Number one, us talking about Cubist Bingo talking about a square does not count as filling that square. So, like Patrick just explaining that, you don't get to check that one off yet. It has to happen organically. Number two, we will do a prize of some variety to be determined. We'll come up with something. Number three, please play along because Patrick put a lot of hard work into this thing. So have fun with it, you guys. But no,
started back at like episode 50, I think is when.
Yeah. We've been talking about this forever.
Oh look, and Rob, what my laptop is on. Betrayal Legacy.
What are you doing?
Jesus.
What?
My laptop is sitting on top of Betrayal Legacy, so it's tall enough.
Yeah.
Hi, Paul. There's a bingo square for you. Somebody's got that.
How tall is it? Very awesome. Paul, Paul. Hi, Paul. Happy birthday, Paul. Your birthday just happened a few days ago, and I never remember to do stuff on social media. So there you go.
Thanks for showing us the mug.
This is the commemorative in honor of episode 100. This is the commemorative mug, which I feel like is extremely appropriate. We won't talk about what's in it, but this is going to be our super show. So what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is that instead of normally where we break it up into the normal show and then after dark, this is just going to all be one big old show, and we'll stay on as long as people feel like talking to us. So, and no co-host people, you are not required to stay on the entire time. You feel free to get up and on whenever you want to. So. But just because it's a celebration show doesn't mean we don't start with our traditional first segment, which is what we have played lately. So, Patrick, do you want to go first? Because you were talking about a game that you were going to talk about, right?
Well, I have two things I wanted to talk about.
Then start. Go first.
Right behind me. So last night,
there's always one right behind you.
I gotta talk about it because it's our 100th show, and we talk about it like every show.
Yeah.
And I think it's a bingo square. So my friend Bill. My friend Bill, a different friend Bill.
Not me.
Actually, my friend.
Hey, Dick,
Bill,
what the hell was that?
I'm just
That was
teasing.
magical.
Son of a-
My friend Bill from Canada, Bill Fitzy Simmons, his little white puffball dog, contacted me last week and said, "Hey, El Grande's like half off on Amazon. Should I buy it?" And I said, "Well, maybe, but really, what I should do is I should teach you how to play it on Yukata, and then maybe you'd like it or not. I don't know." So we set up a date to do that with him and the Detmers, who are all part of the Incorrigible group. I don't know if you see them on Twitter.
Mhm.
Yes.
And then Cindy decided to join in because we ended up doing it on Sunday. So we all got together on Google Hangouts, and then we set up a game on Yukata, and I taught them all El Grande, which just happens to be on my shelf. That's a bingo square for anyone who's listening. Eric Buscemi, how the heck are you?
Hello.
It's an Eric Buscemi. I know how to say his name.
I love the fact that he has the most famous last name out of all of us, and yet he is the one that we always mispronounce on purpose.
It's Buscemi, but yeah.
Eric, good to see you, buddy.
It's good to be seen.
We're just in the middle of the what have we played lately, so you haven't missed much.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, you interrupted one of the worst games ever being described. So you did me a solid.
What game was that?
I bet you can't guess.
Can you only guess? Can you guess? Can you?
No.
Yeah.
How about now?
Look at the wall behind Patrick.
So anyway.
And the look of disdain upon my face.
Yeah.
Those
So
were the
anyway,
mutual
so we had a great time. You know, a lot of smack talk going on because that's the fun about playing on Yukata. When you're in the chat room, you can ask people to play a freaking card and that sort of thing.
Never more proud of someone that happened.
That's an inside joke between Bill and Kimberly and I. Anyway, so we had a good time, and I think I may have sold a couple copies of the El Grande Big Box.
Oh, you were playing the big?
No, we were playing it on Yukata. I was telling them I taught a couple people online yesterday over on Yukata, and
he didn't primp at all.
There's
part of the story that he didn't tell you is that because his wife was there and she's not used to being on camera, she was all being pretty and stuff.
Yeah, and I was unshaven, my hair was a mess, and unlike I usually do for the show. So.
Did you have clothes on?
I did have clothes on.
Well, there you go. All right.
Not just a peek.
See, that's an improvement over some experiences we've all had. So there you go.
Didn't even see that one ever, right, Bill? You never watched.
No, I have still never watched that episode because I refuse to.
What happens when?
What are we talking about? What are you guys talking about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would be the episode where Patrick took his shirt off. That's yes. Bingo square for at least some folks over there. I hope you're there you go. All right. Yes, Eric, it does, Ben. That's why I said
there's a bingo. The bingo cards are out, and you can play along if you want.
Yeah.
And Patrick is gonna. Patrick will paste that link in there. There you go.
Yeah, periodically.
Probably repeatedly over the span of the show. So
right.
All right. So frickin' El Grande. Boo.
So Ben wants to know if that counted, Bill.
Yes, it counted.
Okay.
It counted. Much crap.
Freaking El Grande. Huh?
Frickin' El Grande.
No, not El Grande. He wants to know if that was the.
Naked, yeah. No, I know. I'm trying to move past your nakedness and move on to the actual game because. I don't want to think about it.
We can move on. We had a good time with El Grande. I did not play that in preparation for this, but it was the game
that organically happened that you played one of my least favorite games on the planet just in time for episode 100-ish.
It's just purely coincidental.
That's fine.
So it's episode 100-ish. What is it actually? It's 103, right?
10. Well, if you count there's actually more than that. Yeah, because we did 99.5. In our first attempt to delay, and then we said screw it, and I made it episode 101 because not enough people could show up, and now it's episode 100-ish. So theoretically, this is episode 103, but it's really one. You know what? Here's the deal. It doesn't matter. The fact that we got 4 of us on the show all at once is enough of a tiny miracle that I'm just going to own it and move on.
That's right.
So, Rob, the short answer is no. It's not usually about Patrick's state of nakedness, but that does happen unfortunately often enough.
It happened once.
Yeah.
Or, as Bill was saying, often enough.
Yeah. Unfortunately often enough. Exactly.
It happened a non-zero amount of times. The
Yeah.
backstory is Patrick, because we said we were doing the After Dark. It was Patrick and I running the show. We acted like we were going to be poorly behaved to traumatize Bill.
Which
Patrick was actually topless with just a Pikachu hat on. I didn't notice it first, and when I did, I focused the camera to him and forgot. And so the entire episode is just naked Patrick.
And the thumbnail, because I'm the one that that actually like administrates the YouTube channel. The thumbnail has stayed on Patrick's perky, lovely face with the hat on since then. I went for a while. I was changing all the thumbnails to the Cubist logo.
The logo, yeah.
Or setting it up, but I left that one with Patrick's weird face because it was one of the most beatypically joyous faces I've ever seen somebody make.
It was pretty good.
So there you go. And there it is.
He was pretty proud of his nudity.
he is right. So, all right.
Oh,
Patrick, is El Grande still a buy it?
Oh my goodness, yes.
All right.
Especially
still-
at like
I still think you're wrong,
46%
but
off
that's
on
fine.
Amazon, man.
Yeah, I suppose if it's cheap, maybe if it's cheaper, that's fine.
I have to open my
Kimberly, do you want to fumble
Yeah.
through a game?
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Do
We're
it.
going to do it so hard.
Do
You
it.
ready for this?
Boy, am I have never been readier.
Sure.
That's not true,
Okay.
but
Yeah. All right. Wingspan. I don't have it, so I
Oh.
can't show it to you. It's my friend's game.
okay.
I mean, I've played multiple different copies. It is designed by Elizabeth Hargrave and published by Stonemeyer. And the art is, a mix of people. I knew it was Beth Sobel, Natalia Rojas, and Anna Maria Martinez. So lots of artists. I didn't realize that.
Well, it's unique cards, so that's not
Yes,
too
that's
surprising.
true.
It's a lot of art.
170 bird cards.
Yeah, the art is beautiful. All of the components are insane. They're these little plastic eggs that look like the little, not the Cadbury cream eggs, but the little chocolate Cadbury eggs.
Yeah, they taste horrible.
But don't eat them. That's what I tell everybody. There's a dice tower. It's a, oh my gosh, what do you call those things that birds go in? Birdhouse.
I was gonna say oven.
It's not a bird oven, a birdhouse.
Oh,
You guys are the worst. It's a
wanna
really
hear
good, like, take it to a meetup, easy to teach level game with a little bit of complexity. It plays pretty quickly, maybe 30-ish minutes. You know, I play everything too quickly, so I don't know
Right.
what a normal human time span is for that. It says 40 to 70 minutes.
yeah, that's about right.
Sure. I don't know. It's lots of little rounds. And then you start off, it's kind of worker placement-y. You have these little cubes that are your workers, essentially. But you're only playing on your own board. And each cube is like a round marker as well. You play one and you can like make a bird, which has a cost, or you can put eggs. It's probably called something else. You get to spit eggs out. You can draw.
Is it perhaps laying eggs?
You can collect food. It's probably laying eggs.
I'm just throwing that out there. I'm pretty,
You know how much I pay attention to theme in games.
Yes, that's
Yes.
yeah, good point.
I did just say those things birds go in, Bill. So clearly
Yeah, yeah. I
the
know,
theme for
I know.
me is
I was trying to help you out there.
so important. And in the dice tower, the dice are different food things. There's like worms, fish, dead mice, berries. And you can collect food to make your new birdies. There's 3 different kinds, 3 different areas you can put birds in. There's like grassland, tree situations, and,
Oh my gosh. You had
and I don't know, a sandy looking one, which it's not sand, but my friend whose game it was yesterday is probably shaking his head right now. Hi, Steve. I paid a lot of attention when he taught the game. But you just play, and then it goes down every round. You use one of your cube markers to mark the round bonus, which is like birds in certain kind of habitats or eggs on certain kind of birds, that kind of a thing for end game scoring. I mean, end round scoring. And then that cube that you use makes the next round shorter because now you're using fewer workers. That's pretty much it. It's
Mhm.
pretty easy peasy. It's like family friendly.
the light engine builder.
Here we go, a light engine builder. I still did well, even though I did nothing the first couple of rounds, it felt like. It says it's a 2.39 weight on BGG.
Paul in the chat asked
Okay.
if you played a review copy.
No,
Okay.
a regular copy.
He's playing into the bingo card, I think.
That's fine. We always
See, Steve Steve texted me and said it's not a sandy area. So fine. Sorry.
Very good.
I figured, and the tree situations, and yes, okay, it's very pretty. It's
Mhm.
well designed. It's a Stonemaier game, so everything is beautiful.
Yeah,
it's
like
enjoyable. It's not a game that I need to
instruction
own.
manuals made like out of linen.
Well, that's terrible,
good.
actually.
I mean, but just the fact that it's linen is ridiculous.
That's valid. Yes.
Yeah.
It feels awful though. If you're sensory, that
you didn't like the finish?
On the rule book? No, burn
really?
that.
That's weird.
Burn it down. What are we showing? What's going on
Oh,
over here?
somebody in the chat asked if they could see my.
Oh, there's your new mini man.
There you go. There.
He's a soccer mom now, guys.
Yeah, I'm a hipster soccer mom. That's how this rolls. Anyway, there you go. That's all I'm getting.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yep, that's Wingspan. I enjoy it. It is a play it for me. It's probably too light for me to pull it out and put it on the table ever myself, but I will play it with other people.
Okay, so it's been sort of the buzz of, it feels like, of social media over the last few weeks.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Because it's beautiful.
The production is.
The first thing that I heard about it, however, was the spelling errors issue or typos or whatever. How bad? How egregious is it? Yeah,
there
like
12 cards that have errors on them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are they?
Yes.
Do they affect gameplay?
Only 2 of them affect gameplay.
Yeah, not really. Mostly
out of,
it's just...
out of 170, and one of them is just 1 point. And one of them is 1 point more than it's supposed to be, and the designer said that's not a big deal. The other one is an issue.
Oh, which one is the issue?
I don't know.
Steve, find out what the bad bird is.
I did an interview with the designer. Let me pull it up.
Okay.
Elizabeth, yeah.
Anyway, the other thing I heard today on Draft Mechanic, who's also a member of Punchboard Media, was that they're doing a
not doing it
a free replacement of those. Yeah. If you have the game already, and then the third printing is going to have everything corrected.
Gotcha.
The rodentologist card is printed as birds that only eat rodents, but it should be birds that ever eat rodents.
Oh.
I wouldn't play with the card as printed. I crossed out only on my copy. And there's one bird that's off by a point. She doesn't specify which one that is, but she said it's not a big deal and you could play with it. Okay. So those are the 2 that affect gameplay.
Gotcha.
It's nothing too significant then.
So you hinted at CO2, and the one thing that I will say about CO2 is that once you get past the box and the egregious typos all over it, because seriously, that the inside of the game is fine. There's nothing wrong inside the box. The components are great. I didn't notice any printing or spelling errors on any of the other components, but the box pisses me off. But Stronghold's version will be fixed. We have been assured. So that's fine. And the game is good. So, all right. But back to Wingspan, because I don't want to talk about CO2. Back to Wingspan. You said it's a play it because it's too light?
It's not too light. It just isn't a type of game that I would generally seek to play. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Eric.
Yes.
What do you want to talk? What game do you want to talk about?
Well, I want to talk about modern art because Jason asked about the best Kinetia auction game. But I haven't played it recently, and that's not actually what I want to talk about. I just wanted to throw that out there for Jason.
Also, that's not the best Kinetia auction game. I'm just going to throw that out there. No, I'll fight you. Ra.
There will be murder.
Ra.
You do you.
Ra is better.
And then there's going to be murder.
All right. So you'd like to hear about a game I've played recently. I'm going to give you guys an option because there's 2 I don't want to pick. Chronicles of Crime or Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
Brandon is selling Chronicles of Crime on his auction. It's really going for like $10 right now, and I want to buy it, so I want to hear about it. And see
I would rather hear about
Chronicles of Crime. I've played it, so let's do this.
Since Brandon isn't here, I have no problem picking on him.
Okay.
Actually, I wouldn't have a problem picking on him regardless. But
that's fair.
He is wrong. He's also selling Jamaica in the auction.
I know.
And he's selling Guardians in the auction, so he's just all sorts of wrong. Chronicles of Crime is basically Sherlock Holmes consulting detective. if all of the errors and errata from all those newspapers and booklets were all just in an app that can be updated. Now, I am normally like staunchly against apps and games, but in this case, it just makes sense. And they can also upload new content to it, and so your box can actually get updated with new stuff. So it could be more than just the base stuff, and it's easily expandable. I liked it a lot. It was pretty smooth. The VR thing was, I mean, it wasn't the coolest thing I've ever done in my life, but it was a nice little thing, and I thought it was well done. I would definitely say it's a play it, or if you're into that style, if you already know you're into that style of game, if me saying like Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective like rung a bell for you, then just buy it.
Gotcha. I have played Detective, the Portal game, which is the unavoidable comparison to Chronicles of Crime, because they both are sort of similar-ish. The only difference is Detective doesn't use an app; it uses a website, so you physically have to go to an actual website to use it. This is a dedicated app for Chronicles of Crime, right?
Correct.
Okay. Did you find that the app user interface was easy and intuitive enough that you weren't struggling with that? Because that's the biggest failing Detective has, is that the website sucks.
No,
sucks.
Once you figure out how to click on the what are those little things called? The little black boxes with the dots on them.
Yeah.
QR codes. QR codes. Once you figure out how to use the phone app to click on the QR codes, it's pretty smooth.
Got it. Okay.
And in general, one person can do 90% of the stuff and just hand off the phone when it's time to look through the room or whatever. And then other people can look through the room. But one person that's like tech savvy can do the moderating of the app, integration.
Gotcha. Very cool. All right. So you said it's a play it?
Yes, and I'm gonna, just because Ben asked about Between Two Castles, I will say it's going to stay in my collection for the rare cases when I have more than 4 players that don't want to play a party game. It fits that same niche as Seven Wonders.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm never going to play it with less than 5 players because I just like too many other Euro games, including Castles of Mad King Ludwig, better. But it's worth keeping there for that reason.
So it's a big group non-party game.
Yeah, this is very situational, very niche.
Very niche. We have that in the play to win for Granite Game Summit, so you have to teach me.
Oh yeah, no, it's
like to try it.
If you know how to play either of the games it's based on.
Both, yeah.
I'm not gonna have to teach you. I'm just gonna.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to. Here's me teaching it to you. Right? It's not top down. It's side view.
Okay.
In Castles of Mad King Ludwig, you're looking at the town top down.
Top down, yeah.
And this, you're looking at like a side view slice.
Okay.
That's it.
Easy peasy.
And done. It's the fastest teach ever.
Gotcha. By the way, our first bingo has been recorded. Paul, of course, it was Paul. Good job, Paul.
Paul.
All right, so Paul,
he baited us into saying these things.
Is that what it is? He was. And by the way, Paul, I would like to point out, is on Team Me and says that Ra is better. You are a smart man. See, I knew I liked Paul for a reason. All right, but keep playing for a blackout. We'll do something for a blackout too.
Okay. Nice.
So just keep going. Blackout your damn card. All right.
Ooh.
So let's see. We've got a buy it, a play it, and a play it, right? All right. I don't know.
Yes,
I want to talk about Gen 7. This is
the new Plaid Hat game.
Yep. This is the big box Plaid Hat, the next game in the Crossroads series of games. And so I'm going to start by describing the theme of the game, and then I'm going to come back to the basic idea behind Gen 7 is that the players, are the command crew of a world ship that has halfway in its voyage from a ruined Earth to whatever the new planet is we're going to go to.
Okay.
The journey is supposed to be like 280 years or something like that. And so, of course, no human beings actually will live that long. So you are the 7th generation of humans that have been on this ship. So you are raised out of cryosleep. You are now the command staff. And then when you grow old and die, you're not going to be the one to see the planet that you're going to. your descendants or your descendants
and
of
you
descendants
never
were.
saw Earth.
And you also never saw Earth. Correct. You were
This
born.
is depressing, Bill.
Yeah, it is a little bit depressing, but it's also kind of realistic. Like if mankind is ever going to end up on another planet, this is probably kind of how it's going to go down, at least on the surface. So whatever, I'm fine with it. And I love sci-fi, and I love sci-fi that does something interesting with the genre, right? Like it isn't just ships blowing each other up. It isn't just this. This is a really interesting, unique theme, I think, that presents some really interesting and unique storytelling opportunities, because you get to deal with not just sci-fi stuff, but actually people stuff, because this is your world, right? Like, so it sort of bridges the gap between like character-driven storytelling and cool sci-fi stuff. Without any spoilers, I will say that we have just finished, my group has just finished the 4th out of the 7-game campaign.
Okay.
And the story is pretty good. It is not the best story in a box I've ever played, but it's good. And here's why it's not the best, because so the reason that it is the next in the Crossroads campaign, anybody that's played Dead of Winter knows that how that works is every once in a while you have to draw a Crossroads card, and at the top of the card will be a trigger. And if that trigger has just been met, then you read the card, and it's basically a choose your own adventure card, right? Like pick A or B, and then you get something. But of course, you don't know what the something is you're going to get. It's the exact same as a matter of fact, I believe the road and city events from Gloomhaven were modeled on the Crossroads concept, because they function the exact same way. So if you played Gloomhaven, you've already seen these cards too. Same sort of deal, except for Gloomhaven always triggers. Those cards are very random, and they do not trigger often, maybe 1 or 2 cards a game, but you will draw 3 of them per round in a 4-round game from all of them that I've played. So you're going to draw 12 and you'll trigger maybe 2. So a lot of story goes untold, which makes me a little bit sad. But the overarching plot is pretty good. It's a decent co-op. It is not the most innovative co-op I've ever seen. It feels a little like Shadows over Camelot in a way, that because you're placing dice, it's basically worker placement, but with dice. The numbers on the dice matter either in how, when you are allowed to play them, or the effect they have once you play them. So in that case, there's a little bit of theme. One of the criticisms that Shadows over Camelot got often was that it felt like you were just building poker hands, like you're just playing, okay, I need a full house here. This is sort of like that, right? Like you're spending time looking at your dice, figuring out, okay, I have a 6 and you have a 5. So we can play those 2 here to get this thing done and whatever. So that part, the theme kind of falls slightly apart there, but otherwise it's solid. It is also very expensive. And this is, I think,
it's huge though too, right?
It is not, I don't know. It is a thick square box. So it's, well, it's hard to describe. It's not like,
is that thick with 2 C's?
Wouldn't that be lovely? Yeah. I mean, it's not Gloomhaven big. It's not Anachrony big, right? No. It's a full box. It has legacy style envelopes that get unlocked at varying points during the game. Although it is 100% resettable. Nothing about the game is destroyed or permanently altered, except for you're right on one sheet, like one tracking sheet for your campaign. And they give you like 6 of them. So, and you could of course photocopy them. That's the only thing in the game that isn't resettable, is that one piece of paper. But I understand why people grumped about $100 for it. Not because I think, because I actually just retweeted something on Twitter today about how people need to get over the fact that a game is not just a bunch of components in a box. You're not just paying for how many cubes and meeples you get.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Having said that, I can still understand the sticker shock for $100 game. I get it. It's a lot. And considering what other games you can buy for $100 and the stuff that goes into them, I get it. Having said that, I think it's still a good game. It is, because it is resettable, and because you will not experience all the story through any one 7-game campaign. You can easily play 2 or 3 campaigns of this before you'll get bored with content. So it feels like it's still decent bang for the buck.
Do you want to play another 2 or 3 campaigns of this after finishing your 1 7-game?
I really do.
Well, that's
I really
a good
do.
sign.
Because I want the gameplay
from that alone, I think.
I'm sorry, say it again.
I think you're going to get your money's worth from that alone, even if you didn't really play 2 or 3 full campaigns. The fact that you want to, right?
The story, I think that the theme is interesting and unique. I think the storytelling is good. The writing is very good. I will say this. You basically, one of the things in the game is a spiral bound like book that is sort of the plot that you're chasing through. And there's a lot of flavor text to read. And I understand some people have said before that they don't ever want to read flavor text. They want the game to tell the entire story. I don't think that is always the case. There are some games when I do not care about flavor text, but in a narrative style game like this, I think it's a big deal. And this was well executed. I would have expected nothing less from Plaid Hat, though. Writing is one of their strong suits. Like world building, and I think is one of the things that Plaid Hat does best when they make games. So I think that it is well executed. It's a little bit expensive. I would say that to give it a Cubist rating, I'm going to call it a buy it, but with the caveat that you have the right group. You have to have a group that wants to have a storytelling campaign. This is not like Gloomhaven has an emergent story, but Gloomhaven, you're mainly playing so that way you can hack up a million monsters and crawl around in dungeons and crap, right? Like, I mean, that's what Gloomhaven does. It gives you a cool way to beat up monsters. This is not that. The gameplay itself is secondary to the story in Gen 7, but it's good enough that I can stand playing it. So I'm going to call it a buy it. Also spread the cost out across that group because then it's suddenly not such a big deal. Yep, but I like it. It is just a lot. It's just that $100 is tough, but I'll still give it a buy because I think it's a quality game experience in there, and which is a nice change of pace. Having said that, I'm going to tangent into a thing that we talked about this. So I am the most up on the game of the three people in my Gen 7 group. Okay. The other two folks that are playing the game are okay. They enjoy it, but they're not like hype on it. Right. I am, and I didn't buy it, by the way. It was given to me as a gift. So I'm not, this isn't even a sunk cost fallacy, right? Like I'm not in love with it because I spent $100. I will say that we had a conversation after the last time we played where we feel like campaign games guilt you into finishing them. Like if the game isn't amazing, you feel like you need to keep playing just to get through the campaign because otherwise you feel like you've wasted money. This game, I think, benefits from having a 7-game arc. I think that like the Pandemic Legacy games, and I shudder to say these things.
Chat room anymore.
Rob's not in the chat room anymore. Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that when I was leading up to this. I was like, I was going to talk about it anyway, and then when I saw Rob's name popped up at the beginning of the show, I'm like, well,
it is actually Rob, by the way. He messaged me to confirm.
Good. Pandemic Legacy Season 1, my ex-girlfriend and I mainlined in 2 days. We played the entire campaign in 2 days because it was so good. It was such good. It was such good storytelling. Pandemic is such a solid engine. It was great. Pandemic Legacy Season 2, Ben in the chat and I started a campaign, and we have been wildly unmotivated to finish it. We need to finish it. And I think the story will be good once we finish it. But the problem is I don't like the gameplay nearly as much in 2 as I did in 1. I think 1, Pandemic is such a good game, and 2 did something weird with the mechanics that made me not love the gameplay. So the guilt trip is there. Now Gloomhaven works because the story's good and we like killing stuff. This kind of rides in that middle ground, right? Like the gameplay is good enough and the storytelling is good. So I want to finish it. How do you, and this is why I'm bringing this up, not just so I could rant about it, because I wanted to know what everybody else thought of my theory on the guilt trips behind campaigns and whether you think they are a good thing moving forward or not. Like, do we need more of that stuff or do we just need better games? You know what I mean? Because it feels like you can hide a mediocre game in a campaign.
I think everyone needs to know what they're getting into beforehand, because if you get people that don't know what they're getting into and then you like trap them into like a 10 to 14 game campaign, you could make some people really miserable and just turn them off to the idea of board gaming by forcing them to come to your house once a week for 3 or 4 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot. I mean, I would say don't play them with people you're dating.
You're not speaking from personal experience there, are you? No.
And
Never. I haven't started Betrayal Legacy either because I don't know who to play it with necessarily. Arabella won. Oh my God, I used my kid's actual name.
We'll edit
Is that
out
on bingo?
Yeah.
No,
I did not
My
even
kid
think
asked
about
for
that.
it for Christmas. It's like one of the only things she asked for, and I don't want to play it at 2 players, obviously. So we have to absorb other people. But I'm not going to play it with my significant other because I've done that and it ended poorly.
Yeah.
So with a different significant other, I mean.
Mhm.
So I have to pick up just strangers. No, I have to figure out which friends.
So yeah, I just find homeless people and then just invite them over to play games every week.
Hey, you! Buy a cup of soup and a beer. If you come in here, shut up and sit down and play this. I don't know. That's probably bad.
Oh, Jesus,
Patrick, you're
yeah.
terribly human.
My personal note on these campaign and legacy games is if I could get people, 4 people, 5 people regularly together, I would just play an RPG.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I started playing board games for the singular night event aspect of it.
So here's my only response to that is that RPGs still require a lot of work when you're not sitting at the table, at least for the DM. And
I think there are exceptions to that.
Yeah, that depends on the for Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, but that's why the RPG world has moved past that in a lot of ways.
Okay,
like Travis's. Have you looked at Travis's game?
At what? Travis's reunification?
Game. Yeah, reunification.
I have backed it. As a matter of fact, I was backer number 2 on Kickstarter. I know this because people complained at me because they wanted to be.
I did see that. You were all fighting about it, right?
Yes.
Men.
As a matter of fact, I'm trying to get Travis to agree to do a live play of reunification here on this here channel.
Oh, that would be amazing. Well, wait, it's silent mostly, but I guess note passing can still work online.
Right, exactly. I think there's ways to do it. Is my point, and I think interesting.
Can they be narrated notes if you're going to do it online?
Yeah, I think that might work.
Yeah,
I'll be the narrator.
We're working on it. I messaged Travis about it today, and he said he said the same thing you did, which is sometimes it's quiet. That might be weird, but otherwise it might be cool. We'll see. I don't know.
Because I would be
my point was remember, Eric, where I come from on the timeline of role-playing games. To me, a role-playing game is a game master preparing a story to take a number of people through. I realize that is not always how it is nowadays, and there are a lot of game masterless RPGs out there, but that style of RPG is where my heart lies, right? And so that's what I want to do, but I can't get the group. So I can settle for, and I don't have the time. So I can settle for, and I'll settle for a Gloomhaven or a, Gen 7 or whatever. Having said that, the other thing that these other games do that regular RPGs don't do well is accommodate smaller groups. You can play a campaign with one of these other games with 2 or 3 players and have a great time. If you play a role-playing game with 2 or 3 players, it's kind of boring. Like you need more people around the table. My humble opinion. I've never liked RPGs with less than, let's say, 4.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
4 is a good sweet spot. I agree.
Right.
I've never really played an RPG.
That's fine. It's not where your roots are. That makes sense.
I will try it though. I'm going to play Reunification. I'm going to make Rand play it with me.
Gotcha. See now, Amber, I never know how to say this name. Ambergen. We'll go with Ambergen. Sure. Ambergen, who knows? Whatever. Anyway, just said I've never been into legacy games because I can't justify the amount of money. However, I really want Betrayal Legacy. Here's the thing I will say about legacy games, and this is the fight that I have been fighting since the very beginning. And I wish Rob Davio was in the chat now because I would tell him
like to come on the show. So
I would like to get him on the show. I have been going to bat for legacy games since Risk Legacy. Like I am a firm believer that the idea of playing a legacy game is a fundamentally different concept than any other board game you're going to play, like a true legacy game.
No, that's true. Mm-hmm.
And I think that it brings something interesting that you will not be able to recreate any other way. Even from a resettable game like Gen 7 that feels legacy-ish but isn't, the act of tearing up cards and writing on boards and things is important to how those games work. It's hard to swallow. Huh?
It's so stressful for me.
That's
I have
what,
such a hard time doing it.
but see, that stress is what makes those games so good, because it makes you think about the shit you're about to do, right? Like you literally have to sit and think, God, if I make this decision, I'm going to permanently change how things are. This is it. There's no going back from this. And I think that's part of the storytelling that I love. Hello, Netters. How are you? Sorry. Anyway, we just talked about reunification and how excited we all are.
Yeah, we are. She did the art.
We are.
Yes, Netters is the artist.
I wanted to say about the. I think if you're starting with a game that you already like is a benefit, So
Pandemic as an example.
I liked Pandemic, so I was excited about moving into Pandemic Legacy because I was okay with the idea of playing more of it. I'm a little dubious of Betrayal Legacy. I'm okay with Betrayal, but the idea of playing, I don't know how many games of Betrayal.
I believe it's 7 to 12.
Right. I'm just not sure about. And I think Brandon's grumbled a little bit about that, where, the first 2 or 3 is interesting because it has a legacy, but then you're still playing multiple games of Betrayal. And I like Betrayal like once a year on Halloween. So
I was just going to say, to me, Betrayal at House on the Hill is a special occasion game. It's not something I'm going to want to play regularly.
Right. And then once Charterstone,
silly.
I didn't know what it was, right? They didn't tell me what it was. It was just like, hey, you're going to get this box and you're going to play this game and it's going to be cool. Buy it. And I was like, no, I don't know what I'm buying. And
for Charterstone?
Yeah. And so I wasn't really that hyped about it. I didn't get on the hype train about it. Maybe it was fun. Maybe it wasn't.
I was hyped when Charterstone came out. I thought the idea, like, because all the Legacy games were cooperative, other than Risk Legacy, which goes way back to the Mesozoic period. But and I was like, oh, like a competitive Euro like worker placement game, like this sounds so cool. And then it was like, oh yeah, and it's like, oh, you could play with 2 players, and I was like, I could find one buddy. And then it was like, oh, you're gonna have to run Automa for 4 players. No, and I faded on that real, like nope.
And what's funny about that is the Automa system, or however you say it, is actually pretty solid, but I don't want to do it 4 times, right? Like, I mean, I've used it for Scythe and it works great for Scythe. That system is very good, but you still don't want to have to do it that many times.
Yeah, so. No, I'm sure it is. That's not a knock on the
no. I know.
Automa, whatever it is.
Whatever.
But just it's doing it that many times. The game really wants 4 to 6 people, and that's never going to happen for me.
I agree. And I understand. I don't know. I just, we've talked about this. I retweeted something that our lovely Kimberly said about a week ago, where she said something like, I'm less interested in plastic miniatures and fancy bits and more interested in development and solid
rulebook editing.
And rulebook editing. Right. Yeah. I think that campaign games sort of fall into, they feel like one of those fads that went by, right? Like that Rob did a great job with Risk Legacy. Even if you don't like Risk Legacy is still fun, by the way. If you can seek out a copy that hasn't been played, you should, because it's fun and silly. And
is it not made anymore?
I don't know. I guess I'm assuming that it's been out of print since it was.
Oh no, you can still find that.
Can you really? All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, whatever. My point is, go get a copy of that and then reminisce about your younger days when chucking a bunch of dice was fun and beat up your friends. Like, there's nothing wrong with that game. Pandemic Legacy, same deal. They did a great job with the storytelling. It was excellent. But Gen 7 is fine. It's not the greatest game in the world. It leans on good storytelling and a really interesting concept. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, it's just, but the gameplay itself is not groundbreaking. The gameplay itself in Gloomhaven is closer to groundbreaking, but it's still basically Descent with cards, right? Like, I mean, you're still basically playing a dungeon crawler. It's just instead of throwing dice, you're playing cards. I don't know. It feels like, I don't know. I would rather just play a really amazing game where the mechanics engage me so much that I feel like playing it 20 times than play a game where I have to play it 20 times or else I'm not getting everything I paid for.
Yeah.
I guess that's what it comes down to. And that's not
like I mean, you don't finish the story, right? I think that's part of the problem for people when you don't complete a legacy game. You don't finish the story, and things will be spoiled at some point in time.
Yeah. And I mean, and I think and here's the deal. If there was such thing as campaign games that were not legacy-ish, right? So spoilers didn't matter, but you knew what you were aiming for, and then you're just kind of plowing through it. Like Descent 2nd edition tried to do that. Actually, 1st edition too, with Road to Legend or whatever. Tried to do that, and it was all right, but the game itself was not amazeballs. I don't know. I don't know. It bugs me a little bit. I want it to be better than it is because I want to use my board gaming hobby to recreate those amazing campaigns that I used to play D&D in for years and years and years. And we're close. Like Gloomhaven's the closest I've gotten to so far. Gen 7's fun. But I don't know. It bugs me a little bit. Okay, so changing gears. Because it feels like we played this one out. Patrick just pasted the link to the bingo card. I don't know how you guys are doing for this. I want to do a really big contest because we haven't done a big contest on the show in a while, and I know that I'm bad at shipping things, so I'm not going to do any kind of a contest that involves me physically having to ship things, but I do want to do this. We got a really nice shout out on a website a few months ago about how they enjoyed the content, but it didn't feel like we were actively trying to grow our community. Like it was inside baseball and we enjoyed talking to the same people every week. And I mean, to an extent, we do like our regulars, but more voices are good. So as a birthday present to myself, I'm going to do this. And this is kind of weird, but here we go. If we can get the YouTube channel to 500 subscribers by my birthday, which is the end of March 28th, I will give away on the show immediately after that. So I think it's April 1st.
Never say anything for April 1st.
No, we're doing it.
It's real.
We're going to do it for April 1st because I want people to wonder. I want people to show up.
It is April 1st.
It is April 1st, right? Is the next Monday? Outstanding. We're doing it. You know what, Eric? That's fine. You head clutch all you want, buddy. We're going to do this.
No, I work in news, and April 1st is my nightmare day because I never know if I'm writing facts or nonsense.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you. But we're talking about it on February 4th. So it's not an April Fool's joke. You can come back to episode 100-ish. It is not going to be an April Fool's joke. Here's the deal. If we can get this channel to 500 subscribers on that next show, I will give away a $100 gift certificate to the online game store of your choice. You pick. We will draw a random subscriber from random from the chat. I haven't decided that part, but if we can get to 500 subscribers by the end of March, basically, I will personally give away a $100 gift certificate to the online store of your choice. So what I am doing is I am trying to get all y'alls to help plug this stuff. So tell your friends, get people to watch the show. I just want more voices. That's all it is. It's not that I don't love the people that are here. This isn't about fame. I don't care about how big the channel ever gets. I just want more fun voices to talk to. So thank you very much. Yes. So there you go. So 500 subscribers. I think that's a reasonable goal. We're about halfway there now. 500 subscribers by the end of March, and we'll give away $100. There you go. Perfect. All right. So I want to
in case anybody needed that one for their bingo card again for the latecomers. I said, and Patrick will do the show naked.
Patrick, Patrick, will you do the April Fool's show naked?
It'll be banana pants.
At least one of us will be not wearing,
I'll be wearing my banana pants
clothing for the April 1st show.
Oh, goodness gracious, you people.
It's always here up for me. You don't know what the hell I'm wearing.
This show has been pants optional since the beginning, right? Like, I mean, none of us.
I mean, there is the one episode where I dropped my laptop and somebody was like, "Did I just see your knee?" And I was like, "Shut up."
You aren't even. I don't even really have legs, y'all.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. All right,
you guys totally missed the before show.
Oh my god.
Go ahead.
That's why I did it off. I mean, not off camera. That would have been better. I did it off air.
Off air.
Kimberly, for those of you that don't know, Kimberly sometimes forgets that there's a camera aimed at her. Is really what happens, and so she goes about her business, forgetting that the internet can see her. And we usually have to remind her, "Hi, remember we're still here." And this goes back a couple years.
Yeah.
To the great pudding incident of 2017.
Oh, my cat is one of your bingo things.
Oh, there he is. Peter.
There he is. Look at Peter.
I would like to point out this is a 9-month-old kitten. Look at how huge he is.
Well, is that wait? That's not Peter then, right?
Peter.
No, this is Puppy. This is my baby. Oh, he's loving this.
Looks like Peter.
He's huge.
Yes.
He's bigger than Pete.
Yeah,
that is huge.
He's a very pretty boy.
Yeah.
I should let my pretty boy in here, but he's a jerk and he'll just sit and meow at me nonstop. But hold on, we'll figure it out.
I mean, mine just came and tried to flip the laptop over. So.
There he is. You see him?
Hi, bud.
There's Fitzgerald. From your cat. There he is. Yep. He's like, what? Why are you talking about me, Dad? That's fine. Come on.
Kitty, you are stuck. What are you doing? Why are you?
Yeah, we lost. We lost a lot of bingo answers without Brandon here.
Nice.
We can just pretend. I'll pretend to be Brandon.
He's not yucking anyone's yums.
No, there you go. Thank you.
All right. Look, here's the deal.
No.
All we wanted was for this to be organic, and instead, you people are just softballing them in there.
Yeah, we are.
Hey, we know how to play to a crowd.
This is us sucking up to you to get more viewers. There you go. Perfect.
And just coloring on my hand on the side too.
Yeah, I can't leave him. Oh, there he is. Bye. Never mind. He doesn't want to stay. He's being a butt. Yeah, Fitz is amazing.
Don't anybody let me lean on my hand, okay? If you see me lean on my hand, remind me.
What is wrong with your hand? What did you do?
I've been sharpieing hearts and things on my hand, and now I'm going to lean on it, and I have to teach at 6 a.m. And I'm going to go to school with a heart on my face, and I'm not even going to know.
Netters, it does not count as somebody showing up in Brandon's camera because Brandon's not here, because it wouldn't be Brandon's camera.
Yes, yeah. See, that's what I said. That's some people are going to have bad bingo cards.
Well, that's all right.
Joshua got his bingo because Puppy made an entrance.
Exactly. So, we came into the show with very little of a plan. The only plan that we really knew we were going to have was the bingo cards, because for those of you that keep up on social media, life has been chaos. Like, I totaled my truck a week and a half ago and had to go car shopping, and finally bought something today, which is exciting. I'm glad it's just over. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, that's the worst. I hated it.
Been a pain in my ass for like 2 weeks now. But lots of traveling for work. As a matter of fact, I have to fly to Mississippi tomorrow for a whirlwind work trip and whatever. So we haven't had a lot of chances to plan. But one of the things that I did kind of have in the back of my head is that it amazes me. Well, first off, 100-ish shows should have only taken us 2 years. And instead it took us, 3.5, something like that, because of all the weird delays and things get bumped and whatever, which sucks. But I really wanted to take a moment to just thank everybody that watches the show regularly. We have the reason that we talk about the chat room all the time is because we have a wonderful group that watches every single week. And when I first started this live streaming nonsense, I had been on the weekly Alaboom, Lance Meister's weekly show. And I remember distinctly sitting there talking to Lance, which is great. And, the other people on the show and whatever, and watching, and there would be like 5 people in the chat room, right? Like, it was always super dead. And it was no hate on Lance. It was just, it is what it is. And the fact that we have such a loyal following that watches week after week after week, comments and supports the show and buys the merch and donates on Patreon or Pod Pledge or whatever, means the absolute world to me. So I wanted to kind of go around and talk about the things that this show we've done that have been really fun and awesome. Like sort of favorite moments. And I'm just going to rule out Patrick's nakedness right now because we've talked about that way too much. Way too much.
Yes.
Oh, trust me on that. Way too much.
Fine.
And thank you. I'm hammering this home because I know you and you're going to try and drag it back kicking and screaming to that.
Patrick was naked.
Patrick, if you had to point to your favorite thing that's happened on this show.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Kimberly dropping the F-bomb was one of those. Ben beat me to it.
Oh, and Jason Dinger got the best screen cap of that.
Yes, I think we left that. I think that was a thumbnail too. There was definitely one of these that we left up there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just
that was,
Are we looking for funniest memories or
not necessarily.
Okay, well, I have an actual genuine one.
Oh, as opposed to all our fake ass ones. Sorry.
Getting to talk with Connor McGoey.
Oh yeah,
one of the like genuinely nicest people, and I've since met him like 3 times now. He's the designer of Summit and Gorse Maximus, and he does inside up games, and he is a hell of a lot of fun. And I would never have known him if I didn't come on for that interview that Bill set up with him.
Yeah,
that was a really fun show. We went through a span earlier in the run where we had special guests almost every week, right? Like, and that was sort of our focus as we had new people. And some of those were, quite frankly, a little bit shoehorned, right? Like we just found people that were like, yes, I would like to talk about my new game.
Yes.
And that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that because that's part of what this is, right? Yeah. Is us giving a platform to new publishers and new designers. And I have no issue with that whatsoever. But I agree. Connor's episode was really fun because you just got a sense of the passion that he had for what he was doing and how much he believed in what he had. And just that genuine niceness, I feel like came through. That was my only interaction with the guy, but he's really cool.
That's just to derail this for a second. I do the written interviews on the Punchboard media site, and sometimes you interview people and they give you like amazing, incredible like insights into their life, and then other times you just get a sentence back and then a link to the thing they want to promote, and you as the interviewer have very little control over this, and you never really know who is going to be like a good guest until you've already experience them.
Yeah. And written interviews even more so, right? Because you have
like tough.
Yeah. Like in an interview, like what we do on here on the show, it's a little bit easier because if I can feel things sliding sideways, I'll just start railroading the conversation back to something that's actually interesting. You know what I mean? Like if it just turns into cheap plugs and link fest, then, you can kind of push people back. But in written interviews, I find them terrifying. Like when I had to do the one that Chris Ray sent me for Opinionated Gamers. When I did that one, I was like just anxious as hell because I can talk all day, right? Like, I mean, I'll sit here and talk to you for an hour, but as soon as I start writing, then I start editing, then I start thinking too hard about what I've written. And then that just made me crazy. So yeah, those scare the hell out of me. So pearl necklace jokes. God damn it.
Patrick's pearl necklace jokes.
I'm sorry. I'm the bad influence on the show.
You are not the only bad influence. You are just the most visible.
I add no value.
Yeah, no, Kimberly, we're definitely not talking about you. You do add value. See, I don't.
Before the show starts.
Okay, listen up. Amber Jen 87 or Ambergen 87 or whatever it is.
Jen, she said earlier it stands for generation. So it'd be Amber Jen 87. So she's probably from the generation of 87, which would be me. She's probably my age, I'm guessing. Is that a she?
We don't really know. Why are
Amber's a girl's name.
You started off sounding so confident, then you just went completely off the rails halfway through.
Right, we need clarification in the chat room.
So you started off totally knowing shit, and now you know nothing. I love it. There you go. So
I have no faith. I have no faith in
that's fair. That's fair.
Abilities.
Amber, whoever Amber is, said something about
see, she said I'm right. And see, I'm right. Totally right. See, I knew it.
All right, Amber.
Ridiculous.
Amber's only been seeing us for the last 4 months, but loves hearing us. We all sound so real and organic. You know why that is, Amber? Because we don't plan for crap. Like we this
too.
I mean, we try kind of like we have a Slack conversation usually the day of where we're like, well,
no plan survives first contact with the
Hey, just so you know, that totally drives me freaking crazy.
That drives me crazy. And we have no idea until the day
I may seem like a total half-ass, but I'm like Mr. Organized. Like Eric and I doing a sideshow.
Patrick has a very different definition of the word organized than I do.
Okay, listen. No, wait a minute.
He's organized. It's just sloppy.
But I like to have like a, when we're doing a show.
Yeah, when we do podcast show notes, he has all the information there, and I'm going like capitalizing and adding punctuation.
Well,
he's a freaking editor, but I want to have like bullet points, like this is what we're going to talk about and when, and this is the order, And Eric style, he's worried about it. It's like his freaking show notes. Who cares about what it looks like in editing format?
Obviously, I care.
Well, just anyway. Gentle
We all
viewer
love
out
each other.
there, we make Patrick insane every week because we don't plan this crap out nearly as often as as far out as we should. And part of that is just the fact that all of us on this show lead stupidly busy lives in different directions, right? Like, I mean, I don't have kids, but I am self-employed and, have basically two jobs at this point that I'm bouncing around. And one of those jobs has involved traveling for the last 9 months and whatever. Patrick has, had a lot of life struggles over the last year, plus a full-time job, plus, whatever. Yeah. Eric has a wife and 2 kids and just moved. Kimberly is in the process of trying to move with 2 kids and all kinds of stuff.
Career change, and I run an event for 500 people, and I started a new company.
Exactly. So many things. So, like, if it seems that we are unorganized, it's because we are. Because this is well, it is. I mean, this is alert. Yeah, I know, right? Like, sorry, but we do this because we love talking to each other and to you people, not because this is a super tightly run ship that we're going to, steer true into the realm of podcasting glory, right? Like, this is just not a thing that's ever going to be. And that's all right, because I think this has always just been about us wanting to have fun and talk to people, even from episode 1. Like when I relaunched this as a YouTube show after the audio days, this was always just about, I just want to sit and talk with interesting people about something I care about. And that is all this has ever been. And that's all it's. Okay. You remember 10 minutes ago when I said that Kimberly can never remember that she has a camera on her? That right there. As a matter of fact, hang on. Let's do this and let's focus the entire show on Kimberly for a second here. Here we go. All right. So everybody, see, this is all the time. Just so you know, this is not an occasional thing. This is all the time. I just wanted to get one awkward. There you go.
So what I was trying to do was grab a mechanical pencil so that I could stab open the side of the Betrayal Legacy box, the plastic, because I'm fidgety and my fidgety things are in the other room.
Where are your tiny balls?
They're on the game table, probably.
Okay, I was gonna say your tiny balls. Were your tiny balls on the? No, she didn't. Ben.
The tiny balls were the result of the necklace. If just we want to.
That is how we got to the pearl necklace situation, I believe.
Okay, I just wanted to know if they had their own entry on the bingo card.
No, they did not. I had totally forgotten about that. Somebody else brought it up.
Balls? At the time that I was like, oh, my tiny balls went everywhere. Yes. And then I had to just walk off because
you realized when I first became friends with my friend Kimberly, I thought briefly that she said ridiculous things specifically to provoke reactions. Then I got to know her a little more, and I realized that sometimes shit just falls out of her mouth. And, and then after that, she remembers that we can hear her. That's
except for every once in a while, it's intentional. And then the internet loses their minds because everybody just can't believe that I would or that I'm capable of intentionally knowing what these dirty things are.
Yeah, somewhere along the way, you have carefully cultivated an image of being this little sweet, innocent person.
Well, I look like a sweet, innocent elf, though. See?
Is this the part where we're supposed to believe you?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, cool. Sorry.
If you only see me, I look like I'm much sweeter than I am.
I don't think
I saw you.
Say that again, Eric.
No, I'm not going to repeat that. Never mind.
either, but now he's in trouble.
That's fair. Eric's always a little bit in trouble.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm married. I've lived in a constant state of in trouble for the last.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Oh.
Yeah,
Hey, speaking of
Can I go get water? I love
events.
Yes,
I
of
was
course.
just
you. Oh wait, no, you were gonna push Granite Game. Someone else say.
let you push it, but push it real good.
Whoa.
It's a song.
Yes, I'm aware.
DJ, you're
Yes,
a DJ.
I am
right?
a DJ. I know. But do you know what that song is about?
Yes, I do.
That's where the whoa came
I have
from.
an
right there.
idea. Okay. I was just putting a little salt and pepper into the mix here. Anyway, hey, Granite Game Summit's coming up. Does anyone know anything about that?
Yeah,
Go to billsbirthdaybash.com for more information because I still haven't changed where the website points, even though I'm not going this year.
Well, three of the four people in this row are in March.
Will be at Granite Game Summit, March 8th through March 10th in Nashua, New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm. And some people in the chat room. Brandon?
And people in the chat room, for sure.
I really wish I could go this year. The only reason that I'm not is because I'm going to Seattle for the first time ever for my birthday this year, and
Cool.
I can't do two trips in 1 month.
No.
I know how that goes. Have fun in Seattle.
I've never been, but now one of my closest friends moved out there 3 or 4 months ago and has a spare bed, so I can go without having to pay for a hotel room. Which is basically how that's happening.
Seattle's a really fun city.
Yeah, I'm excited to go. There's a ton of game folks that I've met over the years from Seattle. Seattle's got a ton.
It is.
So the current plan, by the way, I'll just throw this out there right now for anybody that gives a shit. The current plan is that March 28th. Yeah, I'm going to be the one doing all the swearing tonight. I don't know if you noticed that I've been sipping out of this mug and we haven't talked about what's in it. And I'm just throwing that out there.
Minus water.
Yeah, definitely not ice water. On March 28th, which is my physical birthday, which is a Thursday, the plan is we are going to go to the Mox Boarding House and we are going to play games for the whole frickin' day. We're going to have basically like a remote BillCon for a day. So if anybody in the Seattle area that here within the sound of my voice, come to Mox Boarding House on Thursday, March 28th of this year. Come say hi and play games with me. That would be lovely.
And give him birthday beats.
And also give me birthday what?
Smack you. Birthday beats.
Why are you hitting?
Brandon is
Brandon
here.
is in the freaking call.
Oh, we might get a winner on somebody's bingo card.
Somebody might black
calling
out.
your daughter.
I'm actually gonna get water now. There's enough people. I'm gonna kill my camera for like 2 minutes.
Hi, Brandon.
Hello. Can anyone hear me?
Very quietly because your microphone is nowhere near your face.
There you go.
Well, I didn't think I was using this one. I didn't want to.
You definitely are using it at the moment, but that's fine.
Okay.
It's episode 100-ish. I'm just happy you're here. How you doing?
I am okay.
You're
How
not
is
dead?
everyone doing? What?
You're not dying?
No, I'm not dead.
How was Betrayal Legacy night?
It wasn't tonight. That's
why he's
every
here.
other week.
That was Mondays.
It's next Monday.
Oh.
We had to throw off the thing because of weird play schedules and stuff like that. So
Sure. Yeah. So how is it?
We talked about you.
I don't like that one bit.
That we talked about you? Of course we talked about you. You're
In
part
only
of
the best ways.
and Ben, yes, that is indeed what is in my mug. There you go. Anyway,
What
Brandon, so I bought a new mug in honor of episode 100.
Uh-huh.
Because it seemed appropriate. There you go. Can you see it? And it's what's in Bill's mug is the game of the day, and Ben is correct. So tell us about Betrayal Legacy.
Betrayal Legacy? It's
Betrayal, but Legacy.
I don't want to poop on it, but
you don't want to yuck on our yums.
But it started out so good. It started out so not betrayal. It started out with the fun little kind of surprising way to start it, and then the next two, we've only played 3 scenarios, so the next 2 have just been getting progressively more and more one-sided, dice-heavy betrayal, right? So I'm hoping there's some kind of mix, something coming up in the future, but we'll see. And I don't need this pop filter in front of my face.
Okay, so Can you talk about it a little bit more in terms of how the game actually is, as opposed to just an opinion for people that maybe haven't played Betrayal? Because I don't think Betrayal is one of those universal games that everybody's tried.
Well, the Betrayal is basically a Ameritrash kind of game where everybody's on the same team at first, right? And then something happens about halfway called the Haunt, and then suddenly, most of the time, it becomes like a one versus many kind of game. Very the first couple editions were very error prone in the books and other various things, but most of all, it's just really one-sided. There's not a lot of balance to it, right? And I mean, I get it. It's probably purposeful for that, but yeah, I don't know. What else do you want to know?
Well, I guess I mean, you hit on the major points. I just wanted to hear that it starts off cooperative and then becomes a one.
It starts out cooperative and then becomes a one versus many.
Yeah,
usually,
it's a tile game at first.
It's tile. You're building the house. You're exploring the house and the outside. Yeah.
And then the traitor gets announced and the game goes to hell immediately.
The traitor will get a new set of rules and things that they have to work
at the
with.
Table that either has the most problems reading or has the least game experience will always, without fail, become the traitor.
Yeah.
Because it will destroy how the rest of the game will go.
Yeah.
So spoilers. Oh, and I guess not spoilers. I have never played Betrayal in cardboard form. I played a play-by-forum game once and was miserable. And
because you were doing it by forum.
Yeah, and but I'm just not. Nobody I know has ever owned a copy near me. So like, or has ever, if they own it, they weren't interested enough in playing it that they suggested it. So I've never physically played it. I do know that the one play-by-forum play I had was very random feeling and really felt like there was no control over anything. You were just kind of doing stuff. Is that accurate? You're muted. Brandon, you're muted. Brandon,
you're muted.
We cannot hear the words that you are saying. We are professional podcasters, ladies and gentlemen. There you go.
Can you hear me
back?
now?
Yeah,
Yes.
There you are.
Weird. I don't know. This headset is Corinne's. My daughter's been using it, so it's hard telling. It's probably got some kind of brownie in there and all sorts of other things.
I figured she'd be a Girl Scout by now.
No, no Girl Scouts yet. Sorry, I know that was a pun and a bad joke, but
I needed to do a pun for the bingo.
Patrick's mission has apparently been to just softball all of the bingo squares so everybody can be a winner.
So everybody can just black out, right?
Yeah,
We're working on a blackout. Paul already won.
Yeah, Paul already got
Working
regular
on a
bingo.
blackout.
Yeah. So Betrayal is one of those games that if people like Betrayal, they love Betrayal because they're those themey kind of gamers who don't really care about mechanics, God, I said it, mechanisms, and they don't really care about balance. They just want the story, right? Which is what Betrayal can give.
It's great for an experience, and it's great around like the Halloween time experience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And my gosh, Eric Buscemi, you are like bright. You are like professionally produced right now.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that new.
There's a first time for everything.
Look at this. Now I feel like I need to do something behind me.
I mean, I literally built a studio.
You have the better games behind you. All of you, because all that's behind me are the kids' games.
So I mean,
where this whipped cream hits you in the face and crap like that.
That's a beautiful game. Pie Face is wonderful fun.
I have literally 0 games behind me. I have a book.
Smiley weird faces.
I do have smiley faces, including a glowing smiley face that Ben gave me.
Lord have mercy.
Hey, quiet.
You're making me happy.
Of course I am. That's what I do. Damn it. All right. Betrayal Legacy. I know you don't. You said you don't want to poop all over it, but I want.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to rate it now.
No, we need a rating because we haven't done many of the ratings, and those are bingo squares. So,
what? I can't rate a legacy game based on 3 plays.
Yes, you can. We do hot takes on games all the time. I rated Gen 7 after 4 plays, and it's a campaign/legacy thing.
But then if I rate it like a burn it right now and I play it out, then I feel like I'm such a sadist and I hate myself and I did it
No,
anyway.
you do. This is your midway.
This isn't midway. I'm less than a quarter of the way through this.
Fine.
This is like me rating a game after
Are
we
you
did our opening
refusing to
drafts.
give a hot take?
What?
Are you refusing to give a hot take?
Yeah, because I really at this point, I think there's something better coming.
I think he's sick.
He's doing exactly what you said, Bill. He's played into the legacy gambit.
Yeah, see, we were talking about
He's playing it, even though it's awful. He's playing it just because he's hoping something better comes down.
No, that first game was fun.
Hey,
all right.
Can I get a quick poll here? If you guys are watching a movie or reading a book that you don't like, do you keep watching it till the end? Like, there's like two kinds of people. There's people that will continue no matter what, and there are people who like,
I won't finish a book, but I'll finish a movie.
I'm the exact opposite. I
don't
finish a movie, but I will finish a book.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Apparently, those are two different questions. I didn't realize that because I'm pretty much the same on either.
Yeah, I don't finish them. If I don't enjoy them, I stop. And then I may pick them up later and restart. And
so we have to like circle back in 6 months and see if Brandon finished Legacy, and that'll
if you want to know the truth here, I've got Pandemic Legacy half played.
Yep.
Season 1.
Yeah.
I've got Pandemic Legacy Season 2 played up to March.
Yep.
I gave away Gloomhaven for Dinosaur Island. Yeah. So the Legacy thing, I'm giving it a try. But if it sucks, I'm going to quit.
That's fair. That's fair. Can I just say, by the way, that I think the thing that we're all sort of overlooking is video games also are a third thing where that question lies about whether you'll play it through or not, even if you don't like it. Because there are certain I
don't play video games, so that wasn't on my repertoire.
Sure, but I think it's a valid third form of media in the same.
I totally agree.
Yeah. And video games are the one that I am very easy to put down. Like if a game gets too frustrating, I will absolutely put it down and move on.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Like
there's a difference there, and like I've gotten to points in video games where I did not have the hand-eye coordination to complete the task. Like you can never not be able to watch a movie.
Yeah. Well, like Alan came home and he brought his PS4 home over Christmas. And I was like, "Do you have Spider-Man?" He goes, "No." I'm like, "Oh, well, guess what I'm getting you for Christmas?" So I got Spider-Man so I could play it. And I loved the game. I loved like whipping around the city and fighting bad guys. But then you get to these bosses, and it's like you got to fight them like 10 times, and like I just got to keep doing the same stupid thing over and over and over just to beat him. It's like, this is boring. This is really getting boring.
For me,
I hate doing that.
Be better at it, Patrick.
I
think you just need to be better.
I do need to be better. I'm like Eric. I'm very bad at hand-eye coordination stuff.
Yeah, suck less. Get good.
I need to
noob.
suck less. Yeah,
get good, noob.
Bro.
So, my friend Brandon Kemp inadvertently talked me into buying Overwatch because he is passionate about Overwatch, and I really wanted to find a new fun game to play. And it turns out I'm real bad at it, like real bad. Like painfully, people that play with me are like, is this guy even sitting at his computer kind of bad?
Oh, that sounds like me playing Counter-Strike back.
Yeah, it's not good.
I'm like, all right, guys, how do I load the gun up? And they're like, oh, hit Control L. And I'm like, okay, Control L. They're like, never mind, you're dead already. Look back up.
Yeah, that was the way I was on the stupid PS4. It's like, press the X. I'm like, where's the X?
Yeah, no, for sure. Anyway, it did not inspire me to continue playing Overwatch. Let's just put it that way. I played for like 3 hours, and I've played a lot of games over the years, and I don't think I've ever died that consistently, that quickly in a game in my life as I did that first couple hours.
The only people who start Overwatch good are those little, 15 to 24-year-old kids that have just been playing video games.
And they're everywhere.
Yes.
That's the only people who start at Overwatch good. You'll learn it. There's what, 20 different characters for you to learn how to play.
Yeah, great. And I'm going to suck with all of them.
No, you'll find your niche.
Can't you just get good at one? Like that's what I always did. With fighting
You
games.
can, but if somebody else was good at playing that person, you have to swap. You can't have two of the same.
Yeah, I thought I was. Hey, by the way, cheap plug. He didn't ask, but I don't care. Daniel Newman is.
Yes, I was going to do the same thing.
Yep. Okay, you do it. Because I've been talking too much lately. Go.
All right, Mr. Daniel Newman, friend of the Cubist,
former producer of the Cubist.
Former producer of the Cubist podcast, has his newest game published by Pandasaurus is currently on Kickstarter, Dead Man's Cabal. Last time I looked at it, was at like $35,000. It is kicking ass.
So it's definitely a thing that's going to happen.
Oh yeah, it funded in 2.5 hours. It's killing it. It's getting all those stretch goals. It looks amazing.
It does.
And we're going to pinch the hell out of his cheeks at G2S.
Does he like that? I don't feel like he likes that.
No, I also lick his games, but he doesn't.
And while we're doing this, another friend of the Cubist and friend of most of us and person that will be at Granite Game Summit also has their game on Kickstarter right now, and that's Gil Hova with High Rise.
With the High Rise.
And that is worth checking out as well.
Other friends of Cubist and frequently in the chat. The lovely Annette Netters did the art for Travis Hill, who is a friend of Cubist, as well as Game Reunification. Also on Kickstarter currently.
So everyone has a Kickstarter up.
Yeah, basically, the only thing we're missing is me running a Kickstarter for this show, and we're not going to.
I feel like
no, you know why? Because that annoys me when I see other people do it. I don't want to be that guy. I don't know why. For some reason, I get irritated with that. It's not that no hate. Everybody does what they need. Yeah, I am a proud backer of both Reunification and Dead Man's Cabal. I did not know about Gil's game.
Just dropped today, I think.
It just finished?
No, it started today.
It started today. Okay, good. Okay. I've been trying to be such a good boy and not buy games. And then, of course, all the people that I like do run Kickstarters at the same time. So thanks for nothing, you bunch of chump.
I know. That's literally what I said this morning when Gil's dropped. I was like, literally every one of my friends who could have Kickstarter going right now does.
Yeah, and this game of Gil's is not wordsy either. It is much.
No, it looks really neat.
Bigger and pricier.
Like $100.
I have a question. Is the bubble ready to pop?
Oh, the board game bubble?
Yeah.
It already is starting to, I think.
You think so?
I think it's plateauing.
Okay. Why do you think that?
I think a lot of companies are overproducing and not selling as much lately. Hi, Kitty.
So overproducing as in just trying to put too much bling in their games instead of actually making good games? I'm sorry, did I say that out loud?
I mean, producing too many games. I think
right.
Overproduction issue.
That's right. Hi, Tom. How are you? I just, I'm so conflicted on this, right? Because I want this awesome hobby that we all share to keep growing and be amazing and see all these new fun things happen. But I also feel like there is no chance that it's sustainable at the current curve. It just doesn't feel like there's a chance in hell. And I don't know.
Well, it is bringing in a lot of new people, though. I mean, if you look at it like 5-10 years ago, Barnes and Noble and Target weren't selling games, and video game companies weren't making board games like Mechs vs. Minions. And you didn't have Restoration Games putting out those nostalgia games that are making millions on Kickstarter.
Or PAX.
And PAX Unplugged, just bringing in that tabletop audience. And even, look at the role-playing game scene. Like, when we were kids, our parents were like, oh, you'll become Satanists. Actually, my parents played D&D, so and your mom drew for D&D, but so these terrible examples.
My mother was afraid of D&D.
Exactly. There you go. Thank you, Patrick.
There's somebody in here.
But yeah, and now it's totally, absolutely socially acceptable to play role-playing games
and board games.
And,
I mean, they both get brought up fairly regularly.
They're popping up all over the place too.
Yeah.
I mean, I work in a high school, and most of the kids play hobby board games and RPGs. So
I mean, age of the geek, baby, right? Like in the words of a character from Leverage. I get it, but it just feels like they're, I don't know. Yes, you scratch off your spot because we talk about this all the time, but it just makes me. Here's the deal: I can't keep up anymore, and I sort of stopped trying. Like somewhere around 6 months ago. But I was trying for a long time, right? Like I was reading news sites, and I was trying to, keep up on social media and pay attention to what everybody was doing. It's too much. But I recognize that is as much a function of my life as it is the actual industry. Brandon, I feel like you personally, and I'm really glad you showed up tonight, even though, I was afraid you weren't going to make it. You are probably I feel like the most informed all the time on new stuff amongst us. Like, I feel like you are always the one that knows the latest haps. Do the kids still say haps? Is that a thing? Did I just make that up?
I didn't know haps was a thing, but okay.
And what's the haps, yo?
What's the haps?
Right.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That's not a thing? All right, fine. Whatever. Maybe I'm old.
Hot takes.
So I want you to specifically, I'm going to point this at you first. Nathan in the chat asked, what will it look like when the bubble bursts? What's the worst case scenario? As somebody that keeps up really well, Brandon, what do you think first?
I personally, as much as I bemoan it, I'm kind of with Eric here. We're going by the way of the dinosaur, and it's going to be these new people coming in and playing games that are going to support this hobby. We're not going to be the ones supporting it anymore.
Right.
So I don't necessarily think a bubble is going to burst. I think we're going to fade away.
Who is we, though?
Graybeards.
The 5 of us sitting here who host game conventions, who sit here and talk about board games, who sit here and write about board games. We're going to be the ones that fade away. The games are going to keep going.
And you think the curve that currently exists will continue?
Yeah. Why wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think Dan made a good point. A lot of publishers are just going to start going under. That's going to be what it is. There'll be new publishers coming out. There'll be some mergers where they won't really go out of business. They'll just keep eating up. And you're already starting to see it. How many has Asmodee eaten up? And Dice Hate Me has taken out a few that were in like dire straits recently. So I mean, it's happening. It's just quietly happening, but there'll be some ugly one. Like Mayfair was actually pretty ugly when you think about what a big name they were and what like a presence they were in the industry. But yeah, I think there'll be more of that.
So it's too many, too thin of slices for the pie. Like it's too many. I think that publishers will start to fail. Has anybody ever stopped and thought, what if Asmodee just does something terrible? What if they just, as a company, they do something poorly, some bad investment? They own everything.
Right. And they're not in it for board gaming. They're really as an investment, right?
Yeah, right. But what'll happen with that is exactly what happened with Plan B, where Sophie is like, yeah, sure, you can buy Z-Man, and I'll just take my ideas and start another company, and like, because you can't own people and you can't own ideas,
That's true.
But it would be large.
Asmodee could crash, and then all of a sudden,
Asmodee could crash, and it would be a huge upset to the industry.
It would, but it wouldn't. I don't think it would destroy the industry. It would just fracture it, and it would.
I mean, Asmodee itself is already killing creativity in the industry. Them going away may be a good thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I actually, as much as, I don't know, thank you for taking the curmudgeon mantle for the night, Brandon. I appreciate that. Yeah. But I agree with you. I think that this over consolidation that we've been seeing over the last 10 years, I mean, the first it was Hasbro, right? Like when Hasbro bought Wizards of the Coast, which had bought TSR, and then they were buying everything. It felt like they were buying everything under the sun, and people were making Hasborg jokes, resistance is futile, for years and years and years. Now Asmodee is the latest version of that. And I think that as much as I hate seeing 500 companies all cranking out niche games that, that don't feel like there's any sort of quality control behind it, I would rather have that than I would have 3 behemoths that are the only 3 games in town. Haha, see what I did there? For game design, right? Like I would just And I don't bear any ill will towards Asmodee or the companies that have been bought by them or Hasbro.
I
or
bear
anybody
some
else.
ill will to some of the production issues I've been seeing since a lot of those companies got bought by Asmodee. I'm just seeing more stuff going out with errors in it.
Well, and I think there's a lot of customer service issues, right?
That's what I'm talking. Like just
It's
their quality control. They
Yeah.
don't. They just care less than these small niche companies did.
That's
Well,
the thing.
and there's something to be said, I think, for pundits like us that are, I don't want to say at fault for it, but we are a driving force behind some of that, because we talk about all these new games, and we talk about how excited we are for this and this and that, and we plug Kickstarters and whatever. And so people are like, well, yes, I will buy that thing. Yes, I will buy that because this person that I trust told me I should buy it. And I'm sorry.
It's marketing.
Yeah, it's marketing. And here's the deal. Like, for us specifically on this show, I think I can speak pretty confidently when I say none of the 5 of us are here plugging for anything specific unless we straight up tell you we are, right? Like today, yes, we are plugging for Travis Hill's game Reunification with art by the Lovely Netters. Yes, we are plugging for Daniel's game
Dead Man's Cabal.
Dead Man's Cabal. Yeah, that wasn't me forgetting. That was me trying not to burp into the microphone. We're trying.
I wasn't watching.
we're plugging for those two because they are friends of ours that we want to see succeed. But in general, even if I gave Gen 7 a buy it earlier in the show, I'm not telling you that everybody listening to the show needs to go spend $100. I'm saying I think it's a worthy game to add to a collection. But it feels like we are driving this curve a little bit, not all of it. I mean, I'm under no delusions on how much influence I don't have in the industry, right? Like, I don't care. I'm just me, right? But that's I don't know. It just feels self-fulfilling. The more games there are, the more people want to talk about them, the more media gets generated around them, the more buzz gets generated, yada, yada, yada. It's exhausting. Go ahead.
I mean, it is. There's a lot of everything. It builds. It's like the self-fulfilling marketing thing. The word of mouth is always best.
Yeah.
People will trust somebody that they like more than they will a well-placed ad on BGG.
Yeah, true story. And
that might turn their head, but then they're going to look for content, right? Like they see a BGG post, they see a hot new game coming out. They're not just going to look at that and be like, yes, this is it. Usually they seek content.
Mm-hmm.
They want to see other people review it. They want to see Eric Yurko, his pictures and his quick review. They want to see, want to watch Tiffany do a playthrough. Like, you seek the content, and as long as we keep pumping out content, of course it's going to feed the machine.
Right. And I think one of the things that, and I don't want this to sound self-congratulatory, but quite frankly, it is a little bit. One of the mission statements of the Cubist from the get-go is that we were just going to be honest and be us, right? Like, I'm not, we have never had, we've gotten review copies from a few people, but we've never gotten any kind of a sponsorship or any sort of a financial compensation from any companies. And for the record, we never will. I will never accept a corporate sponsorship on this show. Just hard pass, because I want the freedom to be able to say, no, your game sucks. Like, if it sucks.
Unless it's the company that makes that Pikachu hat.
Well, yeah. No. I mean, dude, yeah, that's fine. I'm down with that. And that's why, like, what little, and obviously we've talked about this before. We're not doing this for the money, because if we were, we're real dumb. Yeah, we suck real bad at that part if we're doing it for the money. But like, it's never been about that. But if there is going to be financial support for the show, I want it to come 100% from the people that listen to us and pay attention, because I don't ever want to be beholden to a game company and just be a marketing mouthpiece. I'll be happy to have publishers on the show to talk about their stuff, but like, that's just because we want people to talk to, not because we want to be sponsored.
I will be happy to be a publisher's mouthpiece the day after they start paying my salary.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, right? Like, it's just never going to go that other way. What was the thing? Too many good games, hence we need more informed / trusted media. That's Paul. I think I agree. But the question is, how do you get to the point where you are informed / trusted media? Because some people are just real good talkers. I'm talking about me. Like, I'm a better talker than I'm in an actual font of information. I'm good at talking about stuff, but I don't pay attention to everything like I used to. So I don't know.
Try to randomly send me games, and I always say I don't review games. I don't review games. I don't review games. I don't review games. You just want me to take pictures and post them on Twitter. I understand that, but I don't like that either. So I always try to refuse them. But from now on, I think I'm just going to be like, go watch the beginning of any Cubist episode where I attempt to review a game.
And then send your game to Bill.
Yeah, and then send it to somebody who...
No, I'm kidding. I'm kind of kidding. I don't care.
Somebody who doesn't use, say, the sand area things. Forget what a birdhouse is.
Yeah, no kidding. By the way, speaking of review copies, I do I just, in the interest of full disclosure, I do sometimes get some review copies. Specifically, Mayday Games sends me review copies, and Tim Powers Games sends me review copies, and a couple other companies.
But you always say when they are review copies.
I do always. I try very hard to always say straight up. And in interest of that, Mayday Games, you're gonna have to wait a week. Sorry, I haven't gotten your game to the table enough times to feel confident playing it. They sent me a copy of Bad Doctors. Isn't that not what it's called?
I don't know.
It is what it's called. You're just shaking your head for fun because you have played it a bunch.
I won't play it.
You won't play it. I didn't think it was bad. We had a good time, but I've only played it. We only played it the one time, so I haven't gotten enough plays. I don't want to even give a hot take, but there you go.
And that's a company I've told 2 or 3 times to take me off the list. And
Please stop sending me games.
Yeah.
What company is that?
Mayday.
Mayday.
What company? Mayday.
Yeah, and it's not even the guy anymore. It's because Daniel left and went to
Daniel's at Indie.
Yeah, Indie Boards and Cards.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know who the heck's doing it now.
So
It's Johnny, I think.
You're on the spreadsheet, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's how this works. You're on the spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet auto-populates orders and mailing labels. I'm pretty sure that's how that goes.
Probably.
It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, to get back to what we were talking, to finish my thought on Paul's comment, I hope that people that watch the show know that from the get-go, we will always be honest and say what we actually think on the show, right? Like, I'm zero interest in BSing anybody. So, like, I can't speak. I guess I theoretically can't speak or shouldn't speak for the other 4, but I will say that I don't tend to be friends with people that I feel like are corporate mouthpieces. And you 4 are all friends. So
if they pay me enough, I'll be a corporate mouthpiece. I don't care.
I think that's what Eric said too.
I just said that a few minutes ago.
Yeah,
like if that's your job,
I know.
I don't begrudge anyone that does that for a living. Like I have friends that do that kind of work, but you know it's in their job title. When they come on the show, they're going to promote what they have to promote, and that's part of the thing.
Right. And like, if you go up to somebody at Gen Con, okay, and you stand in their booth and you let them talk to you for 5 minutes about the game, you are walking in with the knowledge that this person is somebody that is there to plug a product and sell you stuff. That is not and never has been how the Cubist rolls. Like, that's just not us, right? Like, we just say the things, and like, I know that, and I will say this: there are certain media creators over the years that I feel like do not follow that same maxim. I think that they say the thing that they think they should say, and that's fine. They can do, whatever you want to do is fine. But for the record, influencer is one of my least favorite words in the English language. It makes me kind of gag a little bit in the back of my throat. And partially because I used to think that I was one and cared about it a lot. And I don't want to be that person ever again. So yeah, I don't know. We're just honest. We're just going to be here talking about stuff that we like. That's all it is. Yep. And that's all it's ever going to be, at least in my opinion. So
that influencer thing is why people try to send me things.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, right? Like,
like I'll Instagram it or I'll tweet it or.
Mm-hmm. But I think that part of it also is what we were talking about 15 minutes ago when we started talking about the bubble. There are so many companies that are trying so hard to push the number of copies of their game that they need to push in order to remain profitable that any port in a storm, man. You know, they just need people to talk about their games. I am certainly not one of the biggest names in board game media, not by a long shot, but I still get random blind messages from people all the time wanting me, hey, could you please tweet about my game? No, I haven't even seen your damn game. Like, that's not a thing that I'm ever going to do.
Mine is Facebook.
What?
Facebook. So many Facebook things.
Oh. I just
like my Kickstarter page. Conveniently, I want to be your friend the day before my Kickstarter launches.
Oh yeah. I've never understood. I mean, I guess I do understand it. Like I can cognitively wrap my brain around why
but you can also understand it's just being done poorly.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I mean, part of who I am personally as a human being is, as somebody that's been self-employed for a long time, I have built my personal business on honesty and transparency, right? Like I just straight up am honest with the people that I work with. And that's part of why I've been successful compared to a lot of the sleazy DJ douchebags that operate in my area. And there's a lot of them. So like, I think that for me, it hits like I take it a little more personally when people aren't honest, because it just bugs me. It's the exact opposite of how I run my business. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't want to be your friend just so you can sell games through my social media presence. That's weird. Like, talk to me because you want to talk to me, not because you want to move a couple hundred more copies of your game.
It's like I only follow people back when they interact with me, not just because they follow me. Same kind of thing.
Yeah.
People, not.
All right, so Brandon, we want to talk about your auction.
Oh yeah,
I get rid of all those cool games.
Why do we want to talk about my auction?
Because you're trying to auction off good games.
Yeah, look, we're promoting everyone's thing. This is the thing you have going. It's not our fault you don't have a Kickstarter running.
I guess they should have done a Kickstarter to help me auction these games.
Also, I need the copy of Jamaica to be the highest selling thing to prove my point that you shouldn't get rid of it.
Well, somebody.
So everyone go bid on Brandon's Jamaica.
Well, somebody bid $60 on that trash feudum, so you got a ways to go.
What? Oh, that for
no comment.
That breaks my heart. I really want to play feudum.
I thought it was okay. I don't think it's trash, but I mean, I don't think it's.
Oh God, that's a slog.
Newman hates Jamaica. So, we got it. Jamaica. Is that on the calendar yet?
I like Jamaica. I'm just selling it because I can't get it played, and that's why all of these games are being sold.
Okay.
And plus, I've got a guy up the road who has all of them anyway. So.
All right.
And I don't know if you people have noticed this, but Brandon's got a lot of games.
He does. He does.
Yes. Brandon is the one that's going to die.
The collapsing tower of games. There's, and the worst part is it's going to happen on YouTube. It's going to be that shelf to his left.
I thought we were just predicting my death. So, if it has to do with games, I guess that's fine.
You'll be all right with that?
Yeah.
I just want the screen
Brandon's
I want the screen to stay on Brandon so we could see the games that he's choosing to keep over some of the ones he's getting rid of.
Yeah. See, now there's going to be another auction in a month. I'm doing this every month this year until I get the collection down to about 200 games.
Holy crap.
So.
Well, that's a lot of games.
Who has the biggest game collection of the five of us? I think it's probably Brandon.
No,
Patrick may have me. I don't know. I was right at
600 or 800 or something.
I've done 3 purges in the last 4 months. And so I was probably right around 700, 750.
And yet you still have Hyde from Mayday Games.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I know. You know what the thing is? You want to know some irrational things with me?
Yes.
I don't like selling shit. I don't like selling really bad games because then I feel bad that somebody just bought this for, I don't care if they spent $1 on it.
Yes.
They bought it and I've sold it to them.
Okay. All right. So here's the deal. When we first started talking about episode 100-ish, one of the ideas that got floated was that somebody should buy a game, somebody should play a game, somebody should forget a game, and somebody should burn a game. Are you? Could you burn it?
All those boxes.
You have a safe place to burn it on camera?
Burn what?
Hyde. You don't even want to sell it for $1. Set it on fire. Generate content.
Give it to somebody, and somebody will love it, or somebody
Can't
will
you just replay the video of Anthony Ricano doing that in his barbecue?
No, Chris Ray asked me. I've had mystical seeds in my auctions for the past 3 auctions, and nobody's bid a goddamn thing on it because the game's kind of trash.
Yeah, got a lot of bad.
But I've got it down to like $15, and he's like, "Okay, if nobody pays for it, I'll give you $15, and we're gonna burn it in your front yard." I'm like, seriously?
All right. If that happens, you
Right.
absolutely need to make a video of it.
I'm not gonna.
Yes, you do.
I will talk about how horrible a game is. I will
call
write out
things
my
trash.
disdain for things, but I am not gonna burn money, and I'm not gonna burn
That's not money.
And I'm not gonna burn somebody's thing that they created. I'm not gonna do it. That's
You're willing
rude.
to talk shit about it, but you won't actually set it on fire.
Exactly. I'm not gonna set it on fire. I feel like that's a line that I'm not willing to cross. Anthony did it for totally different reasons.
Yes,
right?
Anthony did it because
Anthony didn't care. Anthony was pissed off how the thing was ran.
Angry.
Yeah, what if it was a game by the Not So Fast designer?
Oh, how about Not So Fast?
You know what? It's on my auction. Somebody wants to buy it, they can buy it, and they can live with the ramifications of knowing that they supported him.
Wait, which one is that? Is that the racist guy or is that the other guy?
Yes.
Well, no, there were two of them, right?
Yeah, there were two.
Yeah,
one was
the anti-transgender.
Not Academy Games. I forget which games it was.
Excalibur Games is the one.
Excalibur, that's it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to besmirch Academy Games. They've got their own problems.
Brandon in the chat room, so now they're picking. All right, seriously, I want. What did I want?
No, I will burn Daniel's games.
Right,
how about
that? Kimberly is the model for Capital Lux. We've established that. All right, K-List. Now, come on. That's like one of the best games. I want Chronicles of Crime. I was going to bid on that.
Well, look at the box that freaking Amazon sent me.
All I'm going to say is that we just reviewed that game earlier in this show.
Oh, Chronicles of Crime?
Yes.
Oh.
that was my pick for this episode.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I played it once and I know your feelings on it, Eric. I
liked it.
Yeah, I know. I did not enjoy it. I did not enjoy the tech working with it. And yeah.
I'd like to try it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I mean, I wanted it enough that I tried it.
So here's a question, Daniel Newman. If we buy like 5 copies of Ahead in the Clouds,
it's out of print.
It's out of print. Well, we can. I'm sure we can still find them.
I gave my copy away.
I just wondered. I was just trying to figure out if producer emeritus Daniel Newman
have my copy of Ahead in the Clouds, but after he slandered Jamaica, maybe I'll get rid of it.
That's what I'm saying. You can get 5 copies, get all of us back on the show, and set fire to all 5 of them as like.
Jesus! He says it's back in print, so
see, it's back in print.
I like Button Shy though. I don't want to do that.
I like Button Shy too. This isn't about whether the game is quality or not. This is about driving sales. Like we could, just buy a whole bunch of copies of his game. And it would be an epic moment. I don't know. Is that okay, Daniel? I don't know.
No,
none of this is okay.
It's not okay.
Daniel's just like, it's 5 more copies. Sold.
Yeah, I was gonna say buying 5 more. Yeah, see, he'll take our money. It's fine.
$2.15.
Piece of candy. We got this. Great. All right. This is definitely a possible plan. This will be episode 200.
All right. I'm gonna say the Legend of Cherry Tree is a burn it, man. That was pretty awful.
The cherry tree that blossoms once every 10 years?
It wasn't bad. I'd play it about every 10 years.
That should be burned just for having a title that's so goddamn long.
It was the thing that I hated. I mean, as a game, it was just okay. But it had like this god awful velvet or plastic bag.
Your hands sweat as soon as you put it in there.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, the game itself wasn't bad.
No, I'm just saying, as a game, though, like the whole package was pretty bad. And then it was not easy to teach. It was like you put some in the front and the back, and there was no player aids. I did not love it. I did not love it.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're picking on Brandon.
I genuinely like Bang the Dice game, but why would I keep it if nobody wants to play it?
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Because
I play with 4 people predominantly.
I think I have that.
9
and I've
times
never
out of
played
10,
it.
4 people.
Do you know why you keep Bang the Dice game? Because there are very few games with that small of a form factor that can handle that large of a group in that short of a time.
When do I need it? I don't like people enough to do that.
It's barely bigger than your wallet. My point is, look at the nonsense you have piled up all around you.
I
as if
know,
we're
and
about
it's
to fall.
going. This is
No,
Marie
let's
Kondo
focus on Brandon
bullshit
for a
going on
second.
right here.
Hold on. We shamed Kimberly earlier. We'll shame you a little bit now. Look at the stuff that is on your shelves that you could fit 12 copies of Bang the Dice game inside that box. My point is, it's so small. Who cares if you keep it?
Are we really spending this much time defending Bang the Dice game?
Yeah, because it's good.
Oh, that game is aggressively mediocre.
No,
I will give it. It's a lot better than Bang the card game.
yes,
but no.
all right, that's fine.
I said, I've got piles of shit. It's Marie Kondo time in this house.
Why is it all of a sudden I hear that woman's name twice a day for like the last 3 weeks?
Because it's a Netflix show now.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's
She's creepy.
15 years ago, it was called Feng Shui. Now they've just renamed it after a person. It just comes in waves.
It's Con Marie, man. Come on.
All right, fine. Which part do you agree with Eric on, Daniel? I don't know. I missed something.
I bet it's Bang the Dice game being mediocre. That's my bet on that.
I see. I probably have the smallest collection out of the 5 of us on the show. If I was a bet man, I don't know. Kimberly, how big is yours?
My what?
Collection.
Personal question.
Oh, well, mine includes stuff that's going to the ex-husband as well. So currently, probably like 300-ish. What I'm actually going to keep is about 50.
Okay. So at the moment, my collection is smaller than Kimberly's. Kimberly's will be smaller than mine once she gets through whatever.
Yeah.
But a lot of the games that I keep because they are situational, right? Like Bang the Dice game is one of those games that I keep when I'm going to sit around and there's people that don't want to think too hard, and we've got a big group and we all want to play a game together, right? And it's a great game for that when you don't want to split the group.
I'll play One Night Ultimate Werewolf.
That's true.
Yeah, but Bang the Dice game is fun. See, that's the difference. I don't like One Night Ultimate Werewolf.
I mean, aren't we over Cowboys and Indians?
I wear words. I'd rather play Wear Words, but not everybody likes word games. So Bang the Dice game is the silly version, right? I don't know.
There are 8 million games that fit that bill.
I'm sorry, what?
There are so many things that fit that category.
Kickstarter is filled with 50 of them right now.
But aren't but large group non-party quick playing games. There are not that many of them. I don't think anyway.
Is Codenames considered a party game?
Yes.
Which we'll only play as duet anymore anyway.
Right. See?
I've never done well at duet.
Neither have we. I think that's why we keep going back to it.
All right. So listen up, 6 Nymph people. That game has been officially renamed in this show.
Daniel Newman. I for once I agree with him. I just maybe mark it down. It's the first time in history. No Thanks is a better game.
No Thanks is one of the best games out there.
Yeah.
I've never played No Thanks.
I'll bring it.
There you go.
My German copy is going to show up.
That picture of Patrick dying laughing that I did.
Do I need to sprechen Sie Deutsch to play this copy, Patrick? I know you have a German club.
Because it has these funny art on it. That's all. That's the reason.
Is it funnier art than a Bottle Imp?
I hate Bottle
Oh
Imp,
God, that ugly Bottle Imp, that old one. Oh man.
Also, I did not like Nathan. Go, Nathan. Yes, Nathan is correct. Damn it.
No, 6 Nymph is better than No Thanks, but No Thanks is pretty great.
You know, can I just say that Paul, like Team Bill and Paul, all night here. Paul has got my back every time I turn around. I approve.
We do love Paul.
And by the way, 6 Nymph is not the correct name for that game. That someone needs to re-theme that game and just call it Pick a Fucking Card and be done with it.
Play a fucking card. Excuse me.
Yeah, there you go. No, it was Pick. It started with Pick.
No.
All right, well, whatever.
I got this horrible copy of Power Grid that'll probably go away next time.
What?
Oh, it must be the deluxe version.
No, Bird.
You are all just.
I like Power Grid. I would never
trolls.
get rid of Power Grid.
You are uneducated dolts, in the words of Nathan. Thank you, Nathan. He wasn't actually talking about that. He was talking about something else. But.
Oh, I know.
I think I'm just going to keep a Knizia collection. That's it.
Ugh,
Oh, that's a good call.
that is not
I
a
know
good
one of my
call.
favorite Cubist moments was when I had
Oh, I forgot about that.
last
Yeah.
minute decided to do a thing, and Daniel and I hosted the show, and it was just Daniel and I because I think Eric couldn't do it last minute. And then it went into the After Dark, but the After Dark didn't load properly, so it wasn't live for anybody else except for Joshua Acosta, who joined in with us. So it was literally just Daniel, Joshua, and I punching games and talking.
See,
We're like, you know,
like one of the that's we said it. I said it before. I don't want to repeat myself too often, but one of the things I like about the show is the fact that it's completely okay if we just sit around shooting the breeze for an hour, right? Like we try to keep a little bit of structure, but we also, this is just as much fun for me. It's probably not as much fun for the people that are watching the show, but it is for us. I don't care. That's fine.
I think they like it more when we go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good point. I don't know.
I think we should have a show where we just do, what's it called? Rapid fire. Where we each make a rapid fire for each person on the show.
All right.
And we just rapid fire each other and then pick
But
on each other in between.
It has to be all five of us again because this way, first off, I'm just going to keep setting requirements to try to get everybody on the show because I miss all you people. And half the time I don't get to see it. Well, I do. I don't get to see y'all very often.
My smush bucket.
Especially since Chucklenuts over there decided to schedule his Betrayal Legacy campaign he doesn't even want to play on show nights. Good job, you.
You know, it's not all me. This is what happens when you
Yes,
have
but
four
you
other
could have
people that
said
you have to play with.
But you could have said, you know what, guys? I have a show that I am an integral part of. That is around at 9 o'clock.
A world famous show.
World famous.
Exactly. Hey, you know what? We're kind of famous, damn it. We've got people that pay attention sometimes.
Dozens of humans who have watched it.
We have dozens, maybe even 100 or two that have watched the show. We are internet famous. No, we're not. Well, I mean, Kimberly is. The rest of us are just kind of hanging around.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. You're allowed. You're allowed. You do, Amber, you do need to get Lost Cities. It is the best of the two-player games.
Lost Cities is a really good game.
Yes, it is. And for the record, Lost Cities the Rivals is a really good riff on it for more than two players.
It is.
I haven't played it yet.
It's Lost Cities plus Raw. It's really, it's Raw and Lost Cities mashed together.
It's got that perfect economy where all the money is the same in there.
Yeah, it's really good. And because it's in a small box, it's very portable, which makes it a good, like, light medium weight game that you can take on trips and stuff like that. It's very good. Yes, it is really good.
Lost Cities,
I think it's sort of underrated. It feels like it sort of flew under the radar. Rivals did. And it doesn't feel like it got a lot of buzz compared to the other games.
I agree.
And it is real good. All right, 2 hours. We went to Kimberly. We went 2 hours, and you didn't yell at me. You all right?
That's because you were making me be well behaved,
Yeah.
or just talk about somebody's Kickstarter. I've never heard it for an hour.
And you listen to me so often. That's definitely how that works.
And I got up and took a break and got water, and I made popcorn from scratch. Well, not from scratch.
From
but
scratch.
seed.
I harvested
she
the
harvested
corn and
corn.
dried it.
She dried it.
I went out back and harvested me a few ears.
This was a long show.
Yes, it really.
Show's gone too long when I'm harvesting corn.
That's fair.
I'm usually just playing Gone Sean Clever when the show goes too long.
Kids are out there driving the combine, aren't they?
Hey, you know what? As somebody from Wisconsin, I feel personally attacked right now with this line of.
I think you should probably.
Yeah, I probably should. Yeah. Can I just say, by the way, Paul, we talk about you every week when we're on the show because you're always in the chat room. And Paul just said that this is the only show you watch. First off, I'm sorry, because there's probably better shows to watch. Like, there's got to be. But having said that, I want to. What?
Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't want a microwave.
I had a brain fart moment. Go ahead.
Is that what that was? Are you all right?
You just die.
Thought maybe you like stubbed your toe or something.
We
But
were all wrong. He just died silently in his chair.
there you go.
It wasn't the case.
I guess what I want to say is that it bears repeating. We said it earlier in the show, and I want to say it again, how much I appreciate the people that are here week in, week out. watching the show, chatting and talking in the chat room, giving their opinions, supporting the show, whether you support it financially or just talking about it, whatever, doesn't matter. This has been really fun. Even if some of my co-hosts can't make it all the time, and some of my other co-hosts swear at random moments, and some of the co-hosts take off their shirt inappropriately and make it so I can't even watch my own show sometimes, and you know, all the weird stuff that happens. Dear Lord. Anyway, my point is, I hope that the Good Place is a better show than this. I agree. I would just thank you for all the effort and the time and the caring that has come into this. This has been a lot of fun, and I'm really excited for episode 200-ish, because you know it will be 200-ish, right? Like, because we're going to screw this up again. We suck at this whole planning thing. Also, Patrick, you can start planning episodes anytime you want, buddy. If you don't like that, like, you are welcome.
Oh no, I'm just a guest.
Yeah, oh yeah, now you're just a guest, right? Like, whatever. No, the five, and to the four of you that are sitting here, I know that none of you thought that I was going to drag you kicking and screaming over 100 episodes into this nonsense, but I very much appreciate all of you and all the time that you spend here, and the fact that you take time out of your personal schedules to come babble for an hour. It's always a good time for me, at least. So, yes, and hopefully it isn't too friggin' miserable for you people. Shut up, Newman. Quiet down over there.
Damn it. See what Newman said. Back to the chat.
Newman. By the way, speaking of Newman, there is a dude that comes to one of my karaoke shows that is a dead ringer for Newman from Seinfeld. And every time I see him, I quietly go, "Hello, Newman." Just like in the back of my head. I cannot stop myself from doing it. And the fact that, Daniel, I have never done that to you in all the times that we have met, you should take that as a compliment. So anyway, thank you all y'all co-host folks. Thank you everybody in the chat room for hanging out and spending so much time. We will get better about being here more Mondays. Maybe fewer polar vortexes and car accidents will help.
Definitely.
Yeah,
we'll get there. Best commercial from the Super Bowl. I didn't watch the Super Bowl at all.
No, me neither.
But man, oh man, did it. And I hear people whining and crying about the halftime show and the game. I don't care. So I did get to play Pinochle last night, though. So, Paul, we have been trying to get you on this freaking show for like a year and a half. You do not get to wait till episode 200. What the hell? Look.
Well, no, wait a minute. Now, Nathan said that the numbers don't matter since we've been just jumping around all these weird numbers. So the next episode could be 200. You can.
That's a good point. Maybe we'll just start randomly numbering the episodes instead of even trying to keep things in chronological order.
Yeah,
I don't really want to do that because that seems like a terrible.
Is somebody
idea.
running their garbage disposal or something?
That was my straw.
That's her corn shucking machine.
That's how she gets that made from scratch.
I hate everybody.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh boy. All right. Listen up, Paul. Oh, look at that. We didn't get a random child walking past, so there's a bingo square that's never going to get scratched off.
Yeah, I didn't get on until I put the kids to bed. Sorry.
That's all right. We didn't get a single blackout, did we? All right, don't forget 11 billion. I like that. Don't forget March 28th. Well, screw it, April 1st. If by April Fool's Day we have 500 subscribers to this here channel, we will give away a $100. I will give away a $100 gift certificate to the online game store of your choice. So tell all your friends. Yeah, I got a new ride. Don't have to be sorry. It's all pretty and stuff, Paul. So anyway, thank you everybody for hanging out. Thank you, co-host folks, for hanging out with me. Thank you for making it eventually, Brandon and Eric and Kimberly and Patrick, for being amazing.
I love Lamp.
Thank you. Patrick, thank you for keeping your clothes on for the entirety of this episode. I appreciate that.
I'm from the head up, neck up. You can't.
Oh, is that what it is? You very cleverly aimed the camera so we can't tell that you're actually naked.
That's right.
Oh, yes, that's exactly what we always do, isn't it? I thought we all did that.
No. No,
Cool,
damn
cool.
it. How do you win that? One of our subscribers will win that gift certificate. That's the answer, Ben. Because I can see all the subscribers, you know.
Yeah.
That's how this works. So anyway, everybody have a great week of gaming. Thank you for joining us for episode 100-ish. We appreciate it. We will see you all hopefully next week, assuming nothing weird happens. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll talk to you all later. Oh, hang on. The Cubist is a proud member of Punchboard Media, where we all bring something to the table. Yeah, there's the mumble. See, we had a couple bingo cards that didn't quite have
everything.
I knew you were not only a handsome man, but a powerful man. And that is not how you win, but I like where your head's at. That's good. Everybody have a great week of gaming. We will catch you all next time. Be good.
Night.
Bye. Thank you. See ya.